Hey everyone, it's Jamie Palmer here, and I am so flippin' excited to speak with you guys today about how to find time to grow your online business. So I've just got a couple of notes here. So if you see me peek down, I am just peeking down to look at those notes. And of course, at any time, if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to drop them in the group. Let me know, drop them in the chat. Let me know any questions that you might have. I think one of the most important things when it comes to growing an online business is actually finding the time to grow said online business. And to grow your business, you actually have to be really intentional about marketing it. You have to be intentional about the processes that you have in place. You have to be intentional about the client journey and how you're onboarding people into your business. And you have to be really intentional about the things that you're working on so that you're actually taking on tasks and initiatives that move you forward. And to really grow your online business, like I said, you have to really get intentional about marketing. So one of the first things that I do when I work with folks in our business ecosystem builder program is I look at their schedule. I ask them, like, what does a typical week look like for you? Do you have a cadence or a rhythm with which you do things? Like, that is step number one. We look at their schedule. And oftentimes I make a complete of their entire schedule. And part of the reason why I make changes to someone's schedule is because there's really, really efficient ways to work. And oftentimes I see with many entrepreneurs who are, five figures crossing over to that six-figure line, even into the multi-six, where they are like spinning their wheels. They don't necessarily have content day or an internal day to work on their business. They're taking client calls every day. They don't have any boundaries set up in place. They aren't really clear around what they're doing on which days. Some days they have calls back to back. Like, it's complete chaos. Okay. And oftentimes we can really streamline their work schedule so that they are being more intentional about how they are spending time. We can also streamline their work schedule and create some boundaries around how to be more efficient so that they have time to actually work on their business and move it forward and take that action that you need to grow your business, to go from one to one to one to many, to have that time to market and to really get intentional about the systems that you're using to market and really start to get consistent. Because if I know anything, one thing is for certain. If you want to grow your business, you have to get hyper consistent with your marketing. I have really shown up in the online world in the past, 4 or 5 years. I've been in business for 16 years. This month marks our 16th year in business. So I'm like been celebrating that. However, I've noticed that the more consistent I've got, the more the business has grown. And so for those of you who are out there and you're listening to this and you're thinking like, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to grow, or you're doing the same thing over and over again, and you're kind of on this hamster wheel and you're expecting to grow and you're expecting things to change, but you don't have an ecosystem in place where everything's integrated and you're not showing up consistently, that's not going to happen. Okay. I'm just going to be really, really real with you today about that. So here's the deal. I want to talk to you about time management because I start to look at time management first and foremost when I work with any client. I look at how you're spending your weeks, as I've said. I look at what you're doing during your days. I'm looking at what's strategic. I'm looking at what's tactical. I'm looking where we can find time to get you consistent, right? So you have a little bit of space, because that's one of the biggest things for me. I know when I have space to be creative and I have space to actually work on the business and create content and just really do some fun things, like, I've noticed huge amounts of growth in the business. And I notice the same thing for my clients. And so step number one is really looking at your schedule. Oftentimes I'll have folks do a time study where they go through their workday and they say, okay, where am I spending my time? And what I have them do is every 15 minutes throughout their workday, I have them write down what they're doing and whether it's strategic, AKA moving towards your vision or your bigger goal. And then I also have people look at if it's tactical, right? Is it something you could delegate? Is it something that you could automate? Is it something that you could put into a process? Is it something that you could hire somebody to do? So I have them do a time study for 2 full weeks, and I highly recommend doing a time study because then you can find pockets of time where this becomes easier. The other thing that I love for clients to do is to really start to optimize their days. And what do I mean when I say optimize their days? So oftentimes, and I was guilty of this early on in my business, I would take client calls any day of the week. I would do it when it was convenient for them. I had zero boundaries. I would do it at night. I would do it super early in the morning. I even with clients at like 4 a.m. my time who were in a different country simply to accommodate whatever their request was. And I would do that on a regular basis with no regard for what my boundaries were about work. So one of the things that I highly recommend is setting up days in which you do things. So for me, I'm going to just share with you an example of what I do for myself. My clients do all sorts of different things, but I'm going to use myself as an example. So Monday is generally an internal day where we do lots of team stuff. We might onboard a client or two or do a sales call. But for the most part, Monday for me is an internal day. I work with my team. We do any of the team calls that might come up. We really focus on what are the initiatives in setting us up for success. The other thing that I do on Mondays is review content. So any content that my team has created, I really love like going through that, just, making sure that's all set and setting everybody up for success for the week. So that's an internal day for me. That's all. What are we going to do to make the business run effectively this week? Oftentimes I will in the afternoon take on a sales call or I'll take on an onboarding call, but that day is really, especially the mornings on Mondays. So like 9 to 12 on morning, 9 to 12 on Monday mornings are all about the team. It's team centric. It's setting everybody up for success so that they can do their jobs and I'm not in their way. Because oftentimes business owners and entrepreneurs and CEOs like you and me, we have this tendency to hire people and then we get in their way and we stop them from doing their jobs effectively because we're not giving them feedback in a timely manner or we're not providing them the things that they need to be able to do the things that they need to do. And so for me, I know that Monday morning time is setting up for us up for success. On Mondays, I also go through, I do all my billing, all my accounting, all my money stuff so that I know with great specificity what's coming into the business, what's coming out for the business, what's the goal for the week, et cetera, et cetera. And like I said, I will do a sales call or I usually leave about an hour, hour and a half open on Mondays to be able to take a sales call or a client call if there's an emergency, but it's typically either a sales call or an onboarding call. And I do that because those are really easy for me to not have to switch a lot of gears. Like a sales call is very easy for me to go into that mode. Then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do all of my calls. So whether that's for my group program or for my one-on-one clients, all the calls happen on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And part of the reason why I do that is because I can then mentally prepare for the day knowing I'm going to have a whole bunch of calls. So that means in the morning, I'm going to make my lunch. So it's very easy for me to just go downstairs and grab my lunch out of the fridge and eat it while I'm on the huddle with my team or while I check email. And then I know I got X amount of time to Y amount of time for calls and I'm not switching gears, right? I'm not having to go back and forth between certain things to, reset, right? Like I'm not trying to record a podcast just after I've done a client call. I'm doing the same thing all day long. And I know that, right? And so mentally, that's really, really easy for me to be able to do that. Wednesdays is what we call our OMG day. Everyone on the team takes the day and they work on OMG. So this is the day that I will record podcasts. I'll batch create, content. I'll record YouTube videos. I'll work on content for the BEB program. I will do stuff that I need to do. I'll also record podcast interviews on that day. I get really hyper specific about all the stuff that I need to do on that day. Fridays for me have generally been a day where I don't take a lot of calls. I try not to take any calls on Fridays. I also truly believe in the European style of a work week. So I try to get everybody done on the team by 12 or 1 on Fridays so that they can kind of have like Friday afternoon to kind of do what they want to do. And then for me, I have a bit of time on Friday afternoons myself. I don't work in the mornings. I spend the mornings with my toddler. And then Friday afternoons, I tend to do a little bit of work. And what I have been working on is bigger projects and initiatives. So for me, that has been working on the book, the Social Made Simple book. And that has been doing things that are moving us towards that bigger vision and that bigger goal and that long-term 1-year goal. So for you, you might not want to take a whole day, like a Wednesday, to work solely on your business. You might want to take that and break it up into 2 different chunks, right? But the fact of the matter is that I want you to have a cadence so that you're not switching gears every hour or every 15 minutes or every how long. And this is a hyper efficient way for you to work. Number 1. Number 2, you're also going to get a sense of what you can actually get accomplished on a daily basis. If you know with great specificity, hey, here's what my day looks like. So for me, there was a long period of time where I was like, I would map out the 3 things that I was going to do each day, and it'd be like a crazy call day. And I'd be like, how come I didn't get these things done? Well, there was literally no time on my calendar for me to actually do that. And I think that's often what happens with us entrepreneurs and CEOs. We overcommit ourselves. We say yes, and we aren't really like truly paying attention, and we don't necessarily treat our business like our best client. And the problem with not treating your business like your very best client is that it always comes last. And if your business always comes last, you're never going to grow and you're never going to be able to scale. And that's just like the hard core truth and reality. And oftentimes when I work with clients on this time management stuff and these time management ninja tips, when you do the time study, you'll realize that you're spending, a lot of time aimlessly just scrolling on social media. I know for me, that was something that I found 2 hours a week where I was just mindlessly consuming content on social media. And it was super unhealthy and it was super not good for productivity. And when I find myself doing that, I actually will consciously be like, okay, am I just like exhausted and that's why I'm doing this? Because if it is, I'm going to go out, I'm going to go for a walk, I'm going to change my state. And if it's not, I then close everything down. And I think that's the other thing. We often don't give ourselves permission to unplug, right? We live in this society where people have this expectation around an immediate response. They want, if you don't hear from them on the Facebook Messenger that they sent, they'll often send an email or a text, and they'll have like multiple different iterations of communication around something that really, it used to take a full day to get back. Now, when we don't hear a response within an hour, we start to get all this head trash. Like, is this person mad at me? Like, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm sure you've all experienced that. But I think it's one of those things where the more that you can tame that voice inside your head when it comes to that stuff, and the more that you can really be intentional about your time, the faster that you're going to be able to focus and create that time that you need to truly be able to market your business. And one thing I've seen in my 16 years of business with almost every single business owner that I've worked with is they struggle to find the time to work on their business. They're so busy working in their business and making sure it's moving forward and serving clients and all that sort of stuff. They neglect their own marketing efforts. And when you neglect your own marketing efforts and you neglect to put yourself out there, your business will not grow. Yes, you'll get referrals. Yes, it's a great way to grow a business, but eventually what's going to happen is you're going to plateau. And I've seen it with everybody. I've seen it with bigger businesses. I've seen it with smaller businesses, and I've seen it with solopreneurs. I've seen it with like e-commerce, retail, service-based businesses. I've seen it with professionals. I've seen it with restaurants. Eventually you get to this point of saturation where you're not getting any more referrals. And I would contend that is where you need to start to get hyper strategic about your time. And if you're new in business and you're listening to this and it's resonating with you, there is nothing wrong with implementing any of this, what we're talking about, in your business right now. Because ultimately, the sooner you're more strategic and intentional about your time, the faster you're going to be able to achieve your goals that you set out to achieve. So I think one of the most important things is really block your calendar. I block my calendar and my time religiously. Am I perfect about following that schedule all the time? No, but I try. I make a concerted effort every single day to be hyper present. Yes, I still sometimes get distracted by my phone. Sometimes I still go on a scrolling bender on Instagram and scroll for miles. Yes, those things happen. But for the most part, I try to keep my email closed when I'm not checking it. I try to keep Facebook closed when I'm not checking it. And that's a real challenge for me because much of the business that we do is on Facebook. But the more intentional that you can get about where and how you're spending your time, the faster you're going to be able to achieve those goals. And I think one of the things that happens is block your calendar, okay? Create time blocks for creating content. Create time blocks for checking your email. Create time blocks for doing social media. Create time blocks for, every initiative that you want to take and put them on your calendar. And then no matter what happens, honor those appointments. Because here's the thing, bosses don't cancel, right? Bosses generally do not cancel. So if you make that commitment to yourself and you put it on the calendar and it's real, do not break that commitment to yourself because you're the only one who's going to be able to show up and motivate yourself when no one else is watching. And ultimately, it is your job to show up and get that thing done. And I think one of the things is the more that you can streamline your calendar, the more efficient you can be, the more time you'll be able to create to move from going from one to one to one to many, or move from a particular style of client to a different style of client, because then you'll have time to actually show up and serve people in that way. Because many of the folks that we work with, they're in lots of different businesses. Okay. I would not say we have any one specific type of business that we work with, but the theme of every single client that comes to us for help is we've run out of time and we don't have any more time to do the things that we need to do to grow this business. And ultimately, I'm all about creating marketing systems, finding that time, really moving things around and being strategic and hyper intentional about the things that you can do. The other thing I always say to people is I give them permission out of the gate to take a break from social media. If they're in a place where they are posting on they aren't posting on a regular basis, or they are posting on a regular basis and it's not scheduled. So 5 p.m. they're sitting there like, OMG, what am I going to post? Then I give them permission to take a 2-week break. Okay. And I know that that sounds silly, but oftentimes people think, well, I have to keep up with this. I have to keep up to this. Well, posting unintentionally or doing marketing without intent is not going to get you the clients that you want to get in the world. And so I would challenge you to start to think about how can you, one, find time in your schedule. So do a time study, determine whether the work that you're doing is strategic or tactical. Number one. Number two, look at how you could adjust your days. Could you potentially have one day of the week where you're solely working on your business? Could you have call days? Like, how can you streamline the work that you're doing so you're not exhausting yourself to the point where you don't have the energy and the mental capacity to actually work on your business and move it forward towards those goals? I think the other thing is time blocking. Block it on your calendar. If you don't put it on from my perspective, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. Okay. If it's not in your goals, if it's not written down, if you don't have a plan for it, it's not going to happen. And so you need to be able to create that plan and get the time on the calendar to move those initiatives forward that you have in your business. And I think the last thing is just be okay with taking a break, because I think it's okay to post on social media and do a post like, hey, we're taking a 2-week break because we're getting more strategic around the content that we're doing, and post it and tell people and let them know, hey, here's what's going on and here's why we're doing that. I have never had anyone be negative or uppity or like in a way that wasn't super positive when it comes to taking a break. And that break is going to give you the space and take the pressure off and that overwhelm off around feeling like you have to post every day. And that will give you a little bit of space, which will give you some creativity to actually get systems in place around your marketing. Because remember, if you want to grow your online business, you have to start to market. If you start to market, you have to create systems around marketing, and you have to get hyper diligent about how you spend your time so that you can consistently show up online. So here's the deal, folks. If you have not already heard the news, as part of our 16th year in business, we are doing this incredible VIP offer for our Business Ecosystem Builder program. It is a year-long intensive implementation and accountability program. So think about it as a marketing and business strategy implementation program. So this is the culmination of my 16 years in business and my expertise in marketing and business systems. It is access to my team. So it's not only like this crazy learning platform where we have all these lessons and all these Mad Libs and all of these templates and all of this like content that you can use and customize for your business. We have that entire learning platform on the back end. We have everything set up for you so you can take it, make it your own, and then just implement it right away. But we also have the support calls that happen Monday through Thursday. 2 of the calls each week are with me. You have 1 with my technical person, and then my social media and my video person alternate weeks. So every single day there is a call that you can jump on and get the support that you need to keep yourself moving forward. The other thing that we do with this program is we have accountability. Okay. So each week we ask you to make a commitment, which is based on the strategy call that we do together at the onset of you signing up for this program. And each week we hold you accountable to getting those things done. And I cannot tell you, the clients who are going through this and actually taking action are taking massive leaps forward in their business. So here's the deal. As part of my 16th year in business, I have decided that I'm going to do something a little crazy. So for this program, we have a regular option and we have a VIP option. So anybody that signs up for this program between now and September 20th at 12 p.m. EST will get VIP access for the price of the regular program. And the regular program price is $7,500 for the year. So which is normally $10,000. And I'm just telling you, at the end of this September, the price is going to go up. It might double. It might go up 50%. I'm not exactly sure, but I know that my pricing right now is bananas, but I am also still working on building the foundation of this group, and the clients that we have that are going through this program are absolutely crushing it. And to me, I want to put another 10, 15, 20 people through this program and really like make them uber successful before we really crazily up the price. So a couple of things are happening as of September 30th. The doors are closing, so you won't be able to actually join this program anymore after September 30th, and the price is going up. So if you want to actually achieve your goals, if you want to actually move forward, if you're tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results, if you're tired of hiring coach after coach and course after course and not getting the results that you want, then it's time to do something different. Because here's the deal. You can either move forward or you can stay stuck. And here's the thing. The clients that I work with, they move forward. They take massive action. They face their fears and they do it anyway because they have me and my entire team behind them to keep them moving forward. So people, listen up. Okay? Listen up. If you want to make 2019 the best year yet, it's time to take action on this crazy early bird offer. So again, like I said, if you sign up between now and September 20th at 12 p.m., you're going to be able to get VIP access for the price of the regular access. The link is in the description, as you can see there. So click check it out. Check out the program. Feel free to drop any questions that you have with me. I'm also happy to jump on a call and answer any questions that you might have. But I'm just telling you, this program is a done with you program. We hold your hand along the way. So many times I've seen clients have technology hold them back, overwhelm hold them back. This blueprint that they had that just didn't fit who they were for launching held them back. Like, I truly believe if you want to succeed in the online space, you have to co-author a strategy that works for your strengths. Okay. I have a master's degree in leadership, and I truly believe what are my strengths are not your strengths. Same thing with the people on my team. And I want everyone, even my clients, to be working towards their strengths. Okay. And that 6-figure blueprint launch that you bought and didn't work and was a complete flop for you, it's a flop because it doesn't play towards your strength. It just doesn't feel right. And I am a huge fan of co-authoring a strategy and a plan that will work for you in your business. So here's the deal. If you want to transform your life, your business, your goals, it's time to take action. Okay. I'm only opening up 6 spots for that VIP deal. So like I said, it's $7,500 for the year. And with that year-long program, you get access to the group, you get Voxer access to me, you get a monthly call with me, you get access to our learning platform and all of our templates. You also get access to our live monthly trainings that we do. And I'm contemplating adding in a layer of a guest expert each and every month, because I know how powerful that is. Not to mention the fact that we have an amazing community of entrepreneurs who are crushing it and supporting one another and helping each other move forward and giving each other feedback. Honestly, it's just like, this is everything that I wanted to do for so long. I plugged into this program. Like, I have literally spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on programs and coaches and group coaching and all of these things. And I've had some terrible experiences. I've had some amazing experiences. I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on courses to not get results. And the fact of the matter is that most of the people that are out there, and this is no disrespect to anyone in the online space, but most people don't understand how each and everything that you do in the online business world, or the online business ecosystem, as I like to say, is interconnected. So if you want to actually make all of the pieces weave together and work, if you want to make a client experience that is outstanding, if you want to do those things and you want to achieve those goals and have a 6-figure or multi-6-figure or 7-figure business, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. So click the link, send me a personal message, whatever it might be. But I'm telling you, this is the last time that we're going to be offering this special for this program. And I'm doing it in honor of my 16 years in business. Yes, this month marks my 16th year in business, which is sort of kind of crazy to me. But I encourage you guys to take action. If you're on the fence, reach out. Let's have a conversation and we'll see if it's the right fit for you. So thank you so much for tuning in. I super appreciate you, and we'll have a fantastic day.